Hello, welcome back. Today is February 11th. Update for today is I completed functions, uh, practice for functions from the Arun Sharma's book. I completed the LOD 2 and 3 both, and I also started with like 10-20 questions for quadratic equations. My thoughts on Arun Sharma's book for doing this thing is basically, I would say, the questions are decent. If you want to get your core corrected, you should try out Arun Sharma's book. But otherwise, there is a better book which I have tried and done. It is Sarvesh Verma's book, Quantitative Aptitude Quantum Cat by Sarvesh Verma. It is a better book, I think. I had solved that book during my 2022 cat run. Um, it will help you get your basics and everything correct, and uh, overall I would say the questions for structure and how the questions are set in the book is a more uh, are more in sync with cat, I would say. So yeah, apart from it, I thought to discuss on I guess some topic for today, like I guess how to do DILR or how to go about DILR, right? I am talking on this topic because I believe that DILR is one of my strengths, and I've put in enough efforts for DILR so that I can talk about it right now. So, in both of the years, CAT 2022 and 23, my highest percentile was in DILR. So, yeah, I definitely am better at DILR than the other two sections. So, how I uh, got to this level in DILR, I would say is uh, when I started preparing, I basically was in the same condition as everybody else. Like you see a DLR question and you get confused and what to do basically, right? So uh, what I would do back in the days, I used to do this practicing sprints, I guess we can call it. So I would sit in a day for 2 to 3 hours or 4 hours. That is my way. And I would just start solving things or just put that much amount of time minimum towards that thing, right? So suppose I wanted to tackle VARC, so I would take the VARC book and I would be solving VARC for 4 to 5 hours for that day, and maybe also the next day if I wanted to gain more confidence, and if the previous day went good, right? So same thing I had done with DLR. What I did was started with chapter 1 from Arun Sharma's DLR book. uh, Starts with the basic chapters, the most common type of question basically, where you have 6 person who are in 6 different cities, who love 6 different sports and play and wear 6 different colored t-shirts, right? So those kind of questions, I completed those chapters. There are roughly 10 chapters which can be labeled for LR in CAT, and which are in the Arun Sharma book, like games and tournaments, sequencing, ranks, circular tables, networks, routes, puzzles, and miscellaneous questions, of course. So yeah, I basically had done like 3-4 chapters that day, right? uh, Not that I did every single question from those chapters, but what I would do is gain some confidence in a chapter and then move ahead. So I definitely can recommend that way, and you should practice each and every one. My weakest point in DILR is, I would say, Venn diagrams. It still is. Like I know the theory, I know the question, but I saw a question yesterday while practicing, which included sets inside sets. I guess it can be called nested sets. So I have never come across a question like that. So and because I have this fear in me of sets or Venn diagrams, so it was kind of difficult for me, or I gave up by just looking at the question. So that can happen, but it is fine really. I would suggest is practice questions. Set some goals for yourself. Like in a week, you want to solve 35-40 DILR questions. So like by the end of the month, you would have solved roughly 150, 160 questions, and you would be much more confident by the end of it. And in these 160 questions, you can go about it as you wish. You can target chapters, you can target multiple chapters, like do 20 questions from one chapter, and you have gained confidence, then move on to the other one. uh, that also is very good method. I approach it in that way. uh, Also, what I would suggest is, in order for you to have the best confidence to go about DLR and CAT for these days, since the DLR section is getting only tougher and tougher, we have only 4 sets, right? It is totally luck based. The section is the worst right now. uh, Fully luck based question where you have a chance of getting a DI set, and the three are miscellaneous LR sets, right? So it is definitely difficult, but usually 2 sets are doable. You have to find them, right? We'll come to finding sets in the mocks, but yeah, practicing DILR, I would say practice 250 to 300 questions before going to CAT, right? This is practice, and the ones that you do in mocks do not count, right? So once you write a mock, analyze your mock and solve all of the sets from there too, right? Basically what you have to do is get yourself prepared so that when you enter the exam and you look at a question, you are kind of having the feeling that you have come across this question before, so that don't have a fear inside of you that I might not be able to solve this, right? So at least you can pick up the question, you can get into it, and maybe get 1 or 2 questions solved. That is how it has been happening with me. Like I went through this DLR section for CAT 23 in my slot 2. Uh, I picked up one set. I could solve only 2 questions from it because the other 3 were difficult or required more time than I wanted to give to that set, right? I had other sets in my mind. So I went to the third set, looked at it, again could not solve it fully, which was not the way I would do during my mocks, right? But you have to evolve your strategy during the exam sometimes. And then one set, I attempted all the 5 questions. I think I got 7 correct and something like that. So it was still a bad attempt at it, but the paper was really tough. So what can we really do? And I had also messed up while solving, where I had lost like 6 minutes. So that also impacted, but it is fine. So if I have to now come to picking sets, so basically when you are giving mocks, the first thing is DILR section. VARC section ends, right? So there is 2 ways. You have time, like you have 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 minutes, 30 seconds, whatever. And so what I would suggest is just relax and take your time, and then move on to DILR with a fresh mindset that you have to again read things, right? Because DILR can give you lengthy sets to read. So yeah, get into the DILR set, read all of the sets, like read the first set. If you think you have come across the set, then you should know you if you will be able to solve it in time or whatever the chance is, right? You can solve it in time, you can solve it, but it will take longer, and you cannot solve it, right? So these are the 3 levels. So if it is in time, mark it that you will do this, come back to it, right? Move on to the second one. If you can do it but in more time, keep it for later. Similarly, if you move to the third one, it is the same. You can do it, but in more time, right? Keep it. And fourth one is that you cannot solve it. So come back to the first one, solve it quickly. Now assess which of second and third you can do. So if you think that third one will be done more quickly than the second one, then please go ahead with the third one. And once you are done solving both of them and you think you have 5 minutes, I would suggest that get into the second one and at least get like 1 or 2 questions for that setting. So that is how I approach DILR. On a good day, I can solve all 4 sets. Like in my mocks, I have done that. I've solved all 4 sets, and I have had mocks where I couldn't solve even a single one. So that much variance will stay there because the paper setters who write set up these mocks uh, sometimes do not assess the difficulty properly, or I guess I am in not the mood of solving a DLR set that day. That can also happen really. So it is either way, but yeah. that is, I guess, some small talk on DILR. If you guys think you want some more discussion like this, you can comment down below. I'll be happy to do it. Otherwise, yeah, thank you for watching.